Hello everybody, this is ManuS and welcome back to another Eternal News episode. I know I'm a little late for this promo, sorry about that, I kinda kept pushing it and forgot about it, but yeah, it's time to catch up on it, time to talk about this month's hero promo, or rather promo, it's not a hero this time, technically it's a site, so that's pretty sweet. But before we get into it, you know the drill, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification icon to not miss out on future episodes. So see you in a moment with the card. Alright, there we go. The new promo is called Garden of Omens and it's a Skycrack site. Another Skycrack site, but why not? It's a pretty cool one. So first of all, as Avatar we get Ice Bolt with like kind of a cool screen. I'm a bit surprised that as Avatar we get Ice Bolt and not the Garden. Normally you get the promo as Avatar, so that's a bit surprising. It's still related, as you will see in a moment, because the site casts Ice Bolt, which is already pretty good. So let's take a look. Okay, so this is Garden of Omens, 5-cost site. It has 3 durability, means it is reasonably fragile. Like it dies to stuff like Rizan, but there's not a lot of Rizans right now anymore, so that's not that big of a deal. So it's kind of comparable to Temple. Basically Xenon Temple, and that's a pretty good site itself. It is basically Tamari's home. It also has Tamari's agenda, so spells cost 1 less, just like with Tamari's, and then when you get Tamari's they cost even 1 less after that. And the agenda is pretty good actually, like we get Meltdown, so it kills an attachment, and there's a fair share of free-floating attachments that you can get value from with this, so as a side option it's pretty nice to get like 4 main deckable relic removal, attachment removal that have no downside. That's really nice against permafrosts and random curses and stuff like that. It's pretty sweet. The main payoff is obviously Ice Bolt, so you basically get like a site with Ice Bolt. Also sites with removal are particularly good because they protect themselves. Most sites have one. Ice Bolt on 5 when you play this is also not that much of a downside anymore, ramping your opponent, so that's also nice. And it kills a lot of things. Not everything, so keep that in mind. It's not completely able to kill everything. There are a couple of things that don't die to it, like some buffed stuff, a melee, that sort of stuff. But most things still die to it, so it's pretty good. And then as sort of like the low value card that doesn't give you card advantage because it doesn't replace itself, but gives you utility, is Resurface, that lets you tutor for something. You can either play this in the Diogo combo deck with Invoke the Waystones as a way to have for main deck removal and Resurface, which is amazing because it lets you put the Invoke on top, it lets you defend yourself against so many things. The Meltdown lets you kill the Curse from Teacher and stuff like that. Lots of utility there. Making spells cheaper isn't that relevant there, but it really doesn't need to. And yeah, also Resurface has obviously nice synergy with cards like Warp, like for example End of Hostilities. You can play this on 5, then on turn 6, basically after you draw, you get your second agenda choice, you play Resurface, put the Warp card on top. Even if you don't hit the 6 power, you can just play End of Hostilities for 5 and for free. So with Warp cards you can turn Resurface into another extra card from Garden, because thanks to the Warp card that you search up, you replace Resurface with the Warp card instead of normally Resurface just improving your next draw and not giving you an extra card, meaning Garden of Omens usually only gives you 3 cards, Ice Bolt, Meltdown, and Tamari's, and Meltdown being situational, and Tamari's might not happen. So that's pretty good. So that's a nice synergy to keep in mind there. Stuff that I will be experimenting with on future streams. But yeah, the most obvious thing is like Yennefer and I guess the Diogo combo deck in variations for this, but there are also interesting other options like Canadins or just other Skycrack spell decks. It also has some interesting alternative options to, say, Peak, because Peak has worse removal, is more expensive, and sort of slots more into decks with good units, like Yennefer, for example. Also, it is a 6-cost card in decks that often already have a bunch of 6 costs, so Garden slots in where there's less cards, like there's less 5-cost cards in constructed a lot of the time, so that is nice, especially in 3 faction decks. So yeah, it's a really cool card. It's one of the I would say one of the premium promos that we've seen in the game so far. Very pleased by this. Seems pretty strong, but not too strong, but possibly one of the most impactful promos so far because sides are so good. This is a pretty good side. Probably a bit above average in terms of sides, I would say. So yeah, huge impact on Constructed, I would assume. Pretty cool card. As usual, you know the drill. Let me know in the comments what you think of the card. If you enjoy the content, leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel for more. And of course, if you want to support me, please consider whitelisting EternalTitans.com and YouTube on your ad block. And for further ways to support Patreon and stuff like that, you can check the description down below. It's obviously only if you want to support me further than just watching the content. But yeah, I appreciate any kind of help. Also share it with your friends, of course, that also helps. That's it again for this time. I'm your host, ManuS. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.